Holy shit. Can you believe this shit? Now, remember y'all when I talked about that whole Royce the 5'9", Joe Budden beef where I guess Royce thought that he was dissing Eminem, or we didn't really know what was behind the scenes shit. So I guess this was the track that Royce was talking about where he felt like he dissed Eminem. And according to Joe Budden, from the little interview that I watched, he could have went on and on about, the ShadyRecords situation, the Slaughterhouse situation, each individual member. But this is basically just him talking about, how he felt about the whole Slaughterhouse signing to Eminem type of feel. And when you listen to the record, which I did soon as I watched the interview, I was like, okay, let me see where Joe going, with this one. Because we seen this before with, Jay-Z and Joe Budden with the whole Talk to Him record and the subliminal shots he done been throwing that hole for years. And I kind of was like, on a lyrical standpoint, I don't think he can actually fuck with Eminem. But let's see where Joe Budden is, because I've been a big fan of his, and he always is a great artist at expressing himself. And that's basically what I got from the record. He's speaking on the part about his situation, how he felt, first about, signing to Shady and, the circumstances of how the fans looked at them being signed under Eminem, and how I guess the success really didn't peak like they thought it would by signing to, Eminem, where from Joe Budden point of view, he thought that, okay, we signed to Shady, we got Eminem as our boss, and his fans will become our fans. And it didn't really turn out like that. And even when he broke down the whole situation with Slaughterhouse, like, the way they rhyme with syllables and things of that nature, he's not good at that shit. He admitted that. He's more, I guess some would say, emo, where he's expressing himself in a mannerism where most artists wouldn't do that. He's open, basically. And it's more of a letter to Eminem than anything, but we know how hip-hop is. We know how Joe Budden is, he is kind of, in a sense, bipolar to where but basically you kind of understand, where he's coming from, in a sense. But some people will gripe and bitch, especially if you're an Eminem fan, a stan, and you'll say, oh, he basically gave you a deal and now you trying to shit on him, and you basically didn't understand the record, and I listened to this shit from the minute I watched the interview until I fell asleep. I woke up today, listened to it on the way to the mall, and basically I've been listening to it ever since because I'm trying to get an understanding of where he's coming from. And I get it, and I can see how Royce would feel a certain type of way over anybody else in the group, because Eminem has a very a bond there that's very, good and bad, but it's good again. And even the whole Bad Meets Evil line where he said that I listened to this shit so much or something like that, I thought it was my album or something like that. And I guess that's the clip that he put on Instagram, and people went in and basically looked at it like you dissing Eminem. And it's not saying that if you really take it for what it's worth, really listen to it. But Joe Budden does have those ways with words that, it could be meaning one thing but really mean this. But, overall, it make you think about the whole goddamn trilogy of No Love Lost, Some Love Lost, All Love Lost. Is he uses his own personal life experiences to create music. So it makes you really go back and listen to, the projects, and especially listen to the song and see where was he coming from. Like, I love the song. I think it's incredible. But I still wondered when he did No Love Lost, even though he's not, it was put out not under Shady, but you look at the type of music he was doing, and it's like, why is he kind of going for commercial success? In a sense, if you never gave a fuck about that, because if you did, you would have done it when you first had your deal. So I was lost on that, and I was like, okay. And then Some Love Lost, it got back to, the Joe Budden that we all know and love, but yet it was only a digital release instead of a physical. And now we hear with All Love Lost, where it's like, okay, this is the third one, third installment, what's going to happen? But I think this definitely building a lot of hype and a lot of blogs, and he going to get a lot of press for this, you know, definitely, because people going to want to know the meaning of it. And, of course, Joe Budden being Joe Budden, he'll explain a little bit, but if you want to know more, go out and get the album. So, I mean, at the end of the day, this is definitely a great song, and I wish he would have let the song run. It's one of them songs where Joe Budden rapping and it fades out, and I hate when he does that because it's like, nigga, what more was you about to say? You know, it's like, I want to know more. I want to hear more. Why do you do that? I hate when Joe Budden does songs like that. But he explained why he did it. Just basically that song could have went on for 10 minutes. Great, nigga. We love those songs like that. I know I do. I fucking go crazy for songs like that. You know, and it's just like, it's a story that as a fan, we can't really appreciate the chapter because we know it's more to it. You dig? But hey, what y'all think about SlaughterMouse and the whole situation? I think it's incredible. I think this is probably going to be one of his more successful albums in a trilogy, you know, because I thought Some Love Lost was pretty dope, but was missing something. I think this is where he just like, fuck it, pen with the pad, he going all the way in. But definitely SlaughterMouse is a great track. Y'all let me know what y'all think about it. Sorry if my thoughts got scattered, but I was just trying to bring this to y'all before I lose my train of thought. All right.
Remember signing 4 niggas with an attitude, but maybe we ain't get your star power and its magnitude. All I thought is it was about to be on, but I never guessed that I was about to be wrong. We encountered some things.